This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Feeling good. Oh, I had that nice piece of lasagna from the Big Cheese. Put a big smile on my face, man. I'm a happy man.
Yeah, man. Of course, definitely. We all had some food, and people walked away some prizes. So it was a good day there at the Big Cheese, as always, man. I mean, give me a break. It's the Big Cheese. All right, dude. So this week, talk to us about Tyler's show. What do you know about Tyler's show?
Well, Tyler Shuck. It's pronounced Shuck, by the way. It's not Show. Yes. So
Shuck.
it's a tough one to pronounce. So I got you. I feel you. I had to learn that one myself.
It is or something. It's GH.
Yeah.
I thought it was a show. I don't watch.
Yeah, it's with it sounds like CK at the end, not GH, but it's the way it's pronounced anyway. He's good. He's a good decision maker. Fourth in QBR in the ACC this season, averaging 9.1 yards an attempt. So he doesn't throw the ball short. He's going down the field. He's stretching it out. 14 touchdowns, 3 picks. Can run the ball too. He's not just a statue back there. So if he needs to escape, he can do that. And he's got a really good couple of receivers there. Ja'Cory Brooks, who's actually a Miami area kid, signed with Alabama, went to IMG Academy, but grew up here in South Florida, went to Booker T. Washington High School before he transferred. And he's been a solid guy, probably the number 1 or number 2 receiver in the ACC, depending on whether or not you believe him or Xavier Restrepo are the best receivers. And they got another guy, Colin Lacey, who's a dangerous threat. So I think this Louisville offense with Shuck, he won Mario Cristobal a Pac-12 title at Oregon. I think it's a dangerous offense, and this is probably the toughest team that Miami has left in the regular season schedule.
So who covers Brooks?
Good question. I think Daryl Porter Jr. probably gets the assignment most of the day because he's the most experienced guy. He's given up some size to Brooks, but he's done that with other guys in the past. I'm sure they will spy him with a safety over the top, make sure that he doesn't get free for any big plays. But, look, man, to me, this all comes down to Miami's tackling. Do they force Louisville to have long drives, or do they give up explosive plays? The last time we saw this defense, they were giving up a lot of explosive plays to California, who isn't even that good on offense. So that's the challenge this week. Does a guy make a catch on the field? Sure, but do you wrap up?
This kid's got 6 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah, he knows how to get in the end zone.
Yeah, no, and he's 6'3", I just saw there. So the DB's giving up about 4 inches, right?
Yeah. He's got to be tough. He's got to be physical. Try to knock him off his spot.
Porter's what, like 5'11"?
Porter's about 5'11". Yeah. But he's the most experienced guy you've honestly got back there, because Damari Brown is the best physical guy you have back there, but he's hurt. He's been out the whole season. I don't think Deani Hill is really a good matchup for him. Deani Hill's more of a nickel guy. Maybe Jadis Richard if he has a good day, but I don't think Jadis Richard is as good as Daryl Porter Jr. So it's going to be a tough matchup for Miami, which is why you need that pass rush to get to Tyler Shuck all day.
Yeah. Let's hope Bain and the boys can get it done, because they're going to have to. Because I'm looking at it here, they've got their top 2 guys in average, Brooks and Bell, not by yards. Bell is not a by yards. Well, actually, no, by yards also, but it's 19.1 for Brooks and 19.5 for Bell per catch, dude. So these guys, I mean, these are big play guys. The guy you're talking about, Lacey, he's at 11.1. So the other guy's 12.7, 11.1, 12.1. But Brooks and Bell are 2 pain in the asses they're going to have to deal with.
Well, Bell is a solid guy, but I think Lacey is probably the more talented. He's a guy who was highly productive coming over from South Alabama. So again, what you don't want to do is give these guys room in the secondary, where you have to make these really tough tackles in space because they're going to get by you. And so that's why Miami has to play smart on the defensive end. Even if you give up a catch, do not give up the 70-yard touchdown. Give up the 20-yard pass and start over and hope that the next play you get to the quarterback and don't allow him to get that pass off.
All I can tell you is, and you're right, but this Bell kid in the last game had 2 catches against Virginia for 58 yards.
Yeah. They're big play guys. I told you he averaged 9.1 per pass attempt. That's a healthy average, brother.
Yeah, bro. All these guys, and that's where I'm really concerned about. The secondary hasn't shown me that much for the
Well, we knew
Canes.
that was going to be the case. We knew
And
that was the weakness coming into the season.
And that's what you said. That front seven, they're going to have to live off that front seven on Saturday. They're going to have to live off those guys. Those guys need to get off blocks, and they need to pressure this kid and hurry him up. And how's the running game for Louisville? Because Miami cannot allow them to run either. You know what I'm saying?
Well, their running back Isaac Brown, who's a kid out of Homestead. I just finished putting him on the midseason freshman All-American team. He's got 500 plus yards rushing. I think he's averaging over 8 yards a carry. Remember, Louisville went out and they got Donald Chaney Jr., who was a solid backup here for Miami. Had big expectations before we had the series of knee injuries. They also had Kewan Brown, and was a redshirt freshman, and Isaac Brown has basically come in and wrestled the job away from all of those guys. Because he's just so damn fast and explosive. He catches balls out of the backfield. He's got 14 catches this season. So he's not just a guy who you hand the ball off to. He can be dangerous in space out in the flat. So yes, I think you're facing again. This is probably Miami's toughest regular season test left on the schedule. I think Georgia Tech is another game you got to keep your eye open for because they have a really good offense. And a really, really good offensive line. That's going to be an entirely separate challenge. And then Syracuse, of course, has Kyle McCord, who's been putting up huge numbers. Got Arande Gazin's kid. There will be challenges over the second half of the season for Miami. And this one on Saturday against Louisville will be the toughest or one of the toughest.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because it will test them, and it's a nice road test for them. That's the other thing, that they're getting a couple of these kind of games, the Florida atmosphere, so this is good for them also as it gets them prepared for, hopefully an ACC championship game.
Yeah, and again, you've had Jalen Rivers out, you've had Ruben Bain out. You want those guys that are two of your best players. I mean, you could make the argument behind Cam Ward, they're number 2 and number 3 best players on the team with how valuable they are. You need those guys to start to get in sync and start to develop a rhythm, right? So those are all things that I'm looking forward to here over the second half. How does Miami do in road atmospheres? Because let's face it, after the ACC championship game, you're assuming you're getting into the college football playoff. You're gonna be in some tough environments and some really good teams. So you have to be ready to perform. And yes, I'm looking forward to Saturday for all of those reasons. So
yeah, no, definitely. Miles Deep wants to ask you, is Elijah Lofton playing against Louisville this week?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I understand it, he is healthy and is going to be out there. So if he is, I think he's a guy that again, a super freshman, super talented guy that Mario was excited about in the preseason. I know he took a tough hit to the ribs against Cal that you saw him kind of limp off the field. But Elijah Lofton rather has been a guy that throughout his career has taken big hits. He played running back a ton at Bishop Gorman in Las Vegas and was in those big hits, getting those big hits from linemen, etc. So I think he's a tough guy. I expect to see him out there.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. You got your answer, my man. We'll see Lofton there. And then this is another nice stage for Cam Ward too, because while it's a noon game, right? It's a nooner, correct?
Noon on ABC. So everybody in the country will be watching that one.
That was the thing. It's on ABC. So this is another showcase game for Cam, and chasing that Heisman.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're going to get good competition. Ashton Genty is the favorite right now. I think most people have fallen in love with him because he's putting up Barry Sanders type numbers at the running back position. We don't see, again, this is what I told you. It's funny, we're talking about this, but I mentioned this all to you in the preseason. I said there's a fatigue in terms of the Heisman voters always picking a quarterback, right? Travis Hunter, he's one of the leading leaders right now for the Heisman because he plays 2 positions, offense and defense, the Shohei Ohtani of college football. And then you got a running back right now who's special. Everybody wants to see somebody else besides a quarterback get it. So Cam Ward is going to have to be really, really, really special, I think, for himself to have a real good shot at the Heisman. I think Miami has to go undefeated. And I think he's got to be the reason why they're a top 2, top 3 ranked team at the end of the season, 13-0 going into the playoffs.
You're talking about the Boise running back, right?
Yeah, Ashton Johnson. Yep.
So, but are they going to go undefeated?
Well, they've only got one loss right now to Oregon, but he is putting up ridiculous numbers every single week. He's way ahead in the race for the rushing title, and they have a chance to basically make the playoff. They will probably be the quote unquote Group of 5 champion. They've got UNLV left on the schedule. UNLV is obviously a pretty good team, but they almost won at Oregon, which for a lot of people, the way Oregon is right now, number 2 in the country, the fact they only lost one by a field goal says, well, they're better than just your average Group of 5 school. So I think Jonty right now, as long as Boise State continues to do what it's doing and stays, nationally relevant, I think he'll have a really strong chance to win it.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. If they pick up a couple losses and Cam's undefeated, I don't know, and the quarterback, it's still the toughest position to play in all.
I agree.
So I just kind of
wins and losses affect the Heisman race quite a bit. But I will say this, last year Jaden Daniels won it.
And the quarterback who's the key to the victories for the Canes.
Yeah.
Becomes he's a real MVP. We're not just talking about a Heisman. We're talking about this guy is an MVP he is the definition of what an MVP is supposed to be.
Absolutely. And I think on paper right now, if you were to break it down in terms of percentage of credit, right, that Miami deserves, or that Cam Ward deserves for Miami, I would say he's probably 75% of the reason they're number 6 in the country right now. Yeah. And you can certainly make the same argument for Ashton Johnson at Boise State. He is that entire offense. So you're right. I think that's what ultimately MVPs and Heisman winners are. They are truly invaluable to their team.
All right, dude. What do you think about the spread in this game? What do you?
Yeah, I think Miami's going to win I think Miami's going to cover it. I just think Louisville, their defense for whatever reason has been giving up some big plays. If you watch the SMU game, you watch the Notre Dame game. Notre Dame doesn't have a great offense. They give up some points and they give up some plays. And Ashton Gelati, who's an excellent defensive lineman for them, only has 2 sacks this year. Their secondary isn't bad, but I think without a pass rush or without a serious pass rush that is getting in the face of the quarterback, I think they're kind of ineffective. So I think this is a game that Miami wins and covers the spread.
So you're laying the 5, okay? How about the over and under of 60.5? That's a lot of points, but I'm kind of expecting a lot of points in this game.
Yeah, I would probably take the over as well. I think both Miami and Louisville's defenses are going to give up points. I could see them both giving up more than 30 points in this game. It is a lot. 60.5 is a lot, but I think it'll be right around that number.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Visit our friends at Caneswear. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off there at Caneswear. And remember, if you order online, you can use our code BIG010 to get 10% off. But if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. This is your Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.